I used to, I, as you guys know, I've been married, and I'm widowed. And I remember in my first marriage, young guys would come to me and they would ask me things about, well, how do you live with, your wife, and when things come up, how do you handle this? And I would tell them, then they go do the opposite. And I would talk to them, why did you do that? Well, I was talking to my buddies, my other buddies, who were all single, and they're trying, they took that advice over my advice. And it always amazed me that, you know, I'd been married 33 years,
Mm-hmm.
and you would rather listen to someone that, can't even get a date,
Yeah.
how to work within your relationship. And, those things are, they're odd to me, but they're not, because people are constantly wanting to be validated about how they feel, what they want to do, not what they need to do.
Right.
So
And
as I
that's
as I
yeah.
went through life, I just kind of quit advising people, unless they seriously wanted to work on their relationship, or they really seriously wanted to work on themselves.
Yeah.
There was just not much sense telling someone. If they have a preconceived idea about what they think or what they feel is the right thing to do, you can't change their mind.
That's super, super wise of you. And I never even really, put it like that until you mentioned it right now. But people, they want to do what they want to do, and then and it's usually emotionally driven, and then they'll just ask people around them to kind of validate what they already want to do.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's pretty deep.
And people seek that out. Look, I mean, look at whatever social conscious thing's going on right now. They're seeking out validation, and they're seeking out belonging, because there's no. I mean, the true leaders are few and far between these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a sad thing, because where does that come from? Leading or understanding leadership, it comes from fathers.
Yeah.
And because there's so few fathers today, there's very few leaders.
Yeah. I mean, the guys are just like, I mean, it's one thing to be like, you could be a dad, but it's different from being a dad than it is being a father. Kind of
Right.
like being a man from being a male. And yeah, a lot of the thing is, yeah, it all boils down to the lack of having a father in the house. I realized that. Um, I was chatting with Allie, the real femme sapien girl, and she was mentioning, she's like, yeah, like when you don't have a father in the household, it's just chaotic shit. And I experienced that myself. I find it interesting because you've lived, such a great life, and you're with the opposite. You were raised by your father only, and the statistics are night and day from like single mother household versus single father household. There's ultra stability. I mean, the guys just blow the women out the water. I don't know. Did you watch yesterday when I put that clip of that single black mother from TikTok?
Yeah, I watched the show yesterday. It was, I don't know. I understand where Afi's coming from, and Afi and I are different in a lot of respects, as far as, I don't have a problem being in a relationship, and I don't have a problem being married.
And I respect you for that. Now that I'm grown up a little bit, at first I was like, when you told me that, I was like, what is this guy? I don't know what this guy's all about. But now I'm starting to see the benefits of being monogamous and just having one woman. And there's a lot of, I think there's a lot more benefits if you have the right woman,
right,
to being monogamous than to going out womanizing and shit. Because I never thought I could be happy just being like having seriously dedicated myself to one chick. I was quite frankly, I thought that was like, oh, that's fucking beta. That's some pussy shit or whatever. But I mean, you had two marriages that were, one was, you said, was 33 years, and then the second one was
7 years.
Yeah. And no divorce, guys. Just unfortunately, they passed away. It is what it is. But yeah, I think for society as a whole, it's better. I think most guys do want relationships. I don't think most guys want to go out and bang a bunch of girls, and even if they do, it's just very short lived. I think at the end of the day, guys are a little bit more reserved in what they want. They don't want this, like, they don't want that fresh and fit lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know that there's a portion of your life that you probably want to do that, because I've done it too.
Yeah, for sure.
But
looks like Thor's
the
joining us.
is if I'm always doing that, I don't have time for the other things I enjoy doing or I want to do.
Right. It is a huge time sink.
Right.
It is a massive time sink.
And you see so many guys spending all their time doing that, and they don't advance in their careers. They don't advance in other things they want to do in their life. And that's what I try to get these guys to understand. If you go back to Buddha, it's all things in balance.
Right.
If you can't run all things in balance, then something's going to give.
Right.
And
oh yeah,
as you look at, you focused for 4 years, you focused on, money, muscles, game. And at some point you started understanding that frame was important and the inner game has been important.
The most important now, in my personal opinion, now that I've grown up, as you like to remind me often.
I teach you about Whiteboard John.
Yeah.
But there was something I saw in you then when I was working with you, and in talking to you then. There was something I saw in you that was going to, showed me that you had the ability to grow.
Yeah.
And you have grown.
Yes, thank you.
Thor,
welcome to the show, my man.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Great. Is that a new microphone? Looking good.
Yeah, we went ahead and did that, and we put the Roadcaster in place too for upcoming shows.
We're all growing here. We're all growing. Welcome, Thor. You also are in a wonderful relationship with a wonderful woman, and you also know the positive sides of relationships. You also have watched the decline of the average American woman and man as well, quite frankly, right? And, we're talking about how these modern chicks ruin these relationships. Wraith was saying that he believes it's basically no accountability, no dad in the home, right? I mean, a fatherless home is just chaos. Ask me how I know. And, no boundaries, no accountabilities. Why do you think all these women have just lost their fucking mind and be incentivized to be pieces of shit these days?
Well, I have a couple of theories on that. Now we're talking long-term relationship destruction, because they're good at the short-term stuff, right? I mean, easy to date. At least that's what we're seeing so far. It's in the moment.
If you can even call it dating, that's short term.
You can even call it that. To me, I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on. It seems almost like it was done on purpose to us culturally. We talk about the culture war, and it seems like it was done to us with good intentions, like in the name of egalitarianism, but there wasn't a lot of thought put into it. It definitely has an impact, and in my mind, it's definitely something that was done on purpose. Tell the gals that they can do anything they want. Tell the guys that they can't compete. Everybody gets a trophy. Going against their innate natures for many, many years has resulted in what we're starting to see a glimpse of right now. And as the women, modern women come up, date, they don't have long-term relationships. They're very unhappy. They won't have children until they're ready. We see the demographic going down. We can't even keep up with the birth rate. We are headed towards a catastrophe, but it's a slow one. We are slowly sliding into the loss of population. Funny thing is, back in the 60s, we were panicked about overpopulation.
Yeah.
And here we are today, sliding down that slope. Even China, now they would like them to have 3 children.
Yep.
any man under 50, it's outlawed to have a vasectomy. Interesting. So I think it was done on purpose. Modern women, it's sad to see, because you could see the level of unhappiness and the loss of purpose. I mean, the universe gave these women a beautiful purpose, is to have children, enjoy life, be fulfilled. And there is a whole biology that's built to do that. It's an amazing thing. It's a great gift.
Yep.
And when you see a woman, a young woman, particularly a modern young woman today that's fulfilling that, it's like a shining light, because you don't see it very often.
No, you don't. No, you don't. What's your take on single women and why they kind of sabotage their friends' relationships?
Misery loves company.
Ooh. Please go on.
I mean, it really does. I mean, when you're miserable and you can commiserate together, considering that women are communitarian by nature, if one of them's upset, it feels good to vent and get those emotions out. We all know that. So some of us as men's in our men's group will do that privately to some extent.
Right.
It's good to get those emotions out, but women tend to do that in a more public fashion than, let's say, a masculine man would.
Right.
And although it's becoming more popular for men to vent too, and it pisses me off. It's kind of silly. I like to say, just suck it up and deal with it like a man.
Right.
As far as the women are concerned, yeah, misery loves company.